In what should be shocking to no one, birds of a feather do flock together, or should I say, accused sexual deviants often stick together. In an interview with the pro-Trump One America News Network, failed GOP Senate candidate Roy Moore urged his fellow Republicans to vote with their conscience and support Brett Kavanaugh. He said, I think they need to take a stand. I think they need to do what their conscience dictates. They know what's happening. Well, what's happening, Roy? What's happening? Well, this is what he thinks. Watch.
I think it's reflective of what's really happening, that these allegations come in the midst of a Senate confirmation for position on the United States Supreme Court, as they did in my case just 32 days before the election.
Moore explained the media plays a big role in these cases, with the left-wing Washington Post publicizing stories against both Moore and then Kavanaugh.
Okay. I'll get to goofy announcer voice later, because it's funny. But anyway, so basically the whole point is, well, I mean, look at the timing. They bring this up every time there's a vote or a confirmation. That's what's really doing. The left is just orchestrating these events so that we can derail the nomination or the, you know, or an election. I mean, it's what they did to Roy Moore. No, they didn't. One of Roy Moore's accusers was a registered Republican. And she was like, yeah, that's what he did to me. I mean, some of the stuff that Roy Moore was alleged to have done that was corroborated by a lot of different people is gross. He's basically alleged to have done child molestation. I mean, it's gross. So yeah, he's kind of the last guy to talk about this. But anyway, now, here's the thing. On this specific accuser, the Kavanaugh accuser, she actually brought it up in the therapy session years ago, right? But the reason that it's big news now is because there is a lot more scrutiny on Kavanaugh. And there should be, since he is up for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. Now, you can have ideological differences with people on the Supreme Court. I have a lot of ideological differences with Neil Gorsuch, right? Neil Gorsuch, big corporatist, very, very, very right-wing. But you notice that during his confirmation hearing, people weren't like, he's a child molester, or he's a rapist. You know why? It's because he's actually not. If there were evidence of that, don't you think Democrats would have brought it up? No, of course not. And again, there's a million problems with Neil Gorsuch, but attempted rape or sexual assault is not one of them. Okay? So this whole thing, they bring it up every time that there's somebody. No, there were very credible allegations back when he was in high school. And look, if you do sexual assault in high school, that is one of the things that time does not forgive. Because when you think about it, if you're the victim of that, do you ever forget? Or in time, does it just go away? Does it hurt less? Does it impact you less? No, it stays with you. There's no reason that we should let it go just because it's been 20 or so years. It is a significant crime. But anyway, now here's the thing. He's going to be there for decades, right? That's a lifetime appointment. He's going to make important decisions that deal directly with reproductive rights. I should think the minimum requirement for you to be able to make those important decisions and sit on that important seat is to not be an alleged rapist. Just saying, that should be a low bar. But again, here, this is the Republican Party. This is Roy Moore that we're talking about. Now he continues with this ridiculous argument.
But while the tactic may be transparent, Moore says liberals don't care because, quite simply, it works.
I think they don't care about its transparency. They just use it because it's effective. They know that on the one hand, you offend women if you believe somebody that says they weren't guilty of sexual misconduct. On the other hand, if you don't believe them, then you're condemning the person accused of guilt and to prove his own innocence. Catch-22.
But as Roy Moore points out, Republicans are too afraid of appearing insensitive to take a stand. And so instead, they lie down and allow Democrats to run the show with a politically motivated charade.
God, I love the projection. And also, incredibly goofy announcer voice. And they're letting the Democrats get away with it in this politically motivated charade. Dude, bring it down. Talk like a human being. I'm just saying. Nobody talks outside that except for like a goofy broadcast. Just bring it down. Bring it down. I know you're trying to angle for a job on Fox News. In fact, all these One America News Network people, that's what they ultimately want. They want to get on Fox News. Bring it down. Bring it down. Anyway. Okay. So here's the thing. Democrats don't care about transparency. Nope. They only use this because it's effective. Really? Well, it's... Okay, well, here's the thing. So you've had a few Democratic scandals. You've had Al Franken. Now, there are some people that were defending Franken. I didn't because I thought, no, the guy's got to go. What he did was definitely inappropriate, and you can disagree with me on that, but I like to think that I'm consistent. So Franken, one that hurt personally, of course, was, and for some reason I can't think of his name. I hate when that happens. But, you know, Medicare for All, HR 676. He was proud sponsor of that. And that hurt because he was progressive. But there were allegations, and they were credible. He had to go. And, you know, look, you even have Keith Ellison now under fire for doing abuse. You know what? He's got to go. There's a doctor's note now. He's deeply progressive. And I like Keith Ellison, but I do not like that. That is not progressive. That is not somebody that I would want to represent me. And there are other progressives out there, other great progressives that can do just as good of a job, maybe even a better job, without that kind of personal baggage. So, but, you know, so you want to talk about how people on the left, they just want to, they don't care about this. They don't care about transparency. They don't care about doing the right thing. It's all about politics. No, that's projection. That's projection. Massive, massive projection. So, look, you know, they accuse the other side of what they do. But anyway, now as far as offensive, right? You know what's offensive to women? Not believing them when they put themselves in personal danger when they accuse someone in power of a sexual assault. Christine Blasey Ford has been threatened and chased out of her own home through these allegations, because of these allegations. She's been doxxed, relentlessly smeared by the right. I showed you the video of that yesterday. They even want to call her up and testify before Congress. Now, some of you might think, well, what's the matter? She made these allegations. She should be able to testify before Congress about them. But not Kavanaugh? That seems to be sort of ridiculous. Her, but not Kavanaugh's friend, who apparently, or classmate, who was in the room, allegedly with him, when she was assaulted? No, the whole point to have her testify is to put her up in front of a bunch of Republican congressmen who will then try to systematically destroy her. That's the whole point. Now, what we should do instead is first halt the hearings and then allow authorities to investigate these allegations. If they are true, and if they are found to be true, Judge Kavanaugh should withdraw his nomination immediately. Immediately. But in the meantime, those hearings should not go forward at all. But here's the thing. What happens when a lot of times when women come forward, and this is why they don't, by the way, there's always that question of, why now? Why didn't they come forward before? Why don't women come forward more often? Well, this is why. They're doubted, shamed, put in front of hearings who will often ask ridiculous questions like, what were you wearing? Did you drink anything? All those questions have one purpose: to try to put the blame onto the woman, to try to put the onus on the woman. That's what a lot of, unfortunately, conservative culture is about. Protecting the man, putting all the onus on the woman. Well, if you don't want to be your butt grabbed or ogled, dress up. Avoid certain people. Avoid certain places. As if putting all the onus on the woman to protect herself, and then just allowing the men to be obnoxious pigs. And that's the truth of it. Men, fellow men, we got to take responsibility and maybe not do that shit. This is what they do. Look, again, we need an investigation. We need to find the truth. And the truth will speak for itself. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.